Have you ever been there, like in a job interview, you know the perfect answer in English, but it just takes too long to come out?
Uh-huh. Or maybe in a meeting, you've got this great idea, but you can't quite get it across quickly and, confidently.
Exactly. And even just chatting, you wish you could sound faster, smarter, more like a native speaker. That feeling of wanting to be understood, properly heard, we've all felt that.
And that's really what we're digging into today, this deep dive. It's for you, the learner, looking for those practical ways to speak English faster, yes, but also smarter, like you said, with that natural flow.
Right. We've looked at this really great lesson source focused specifically on getting that native-like speed and intelligence.
Yeah, and it's not just about cramming more vocab.
No, definitely not. This source, it goes into the why and the how, the mindset stuff, actual training exercises you can do, and those little nuances.
Things that make native English just sound different.
Exactly. It's a pretty comprehensive look, not just knowing words, but like how fast you can grab them, how you deliver them, the whole package.
Mm-hmm. The impact.
So what are you going to get from this? Well, we'll look at why speaking fast can signal confidence and how speaking smart shows control.
And we have to tackle that big one, the fear of making mistakes when you try to speed up. Because everyone feels that, right?
Oh, totally. But we'll look at the counter-argument, how speed and accuracy can actually, go hand in hand with the right training.
Plus, some really practical brain training stuff.
Yeah.
And things like phrasal verbs, a bit of slang.
Yeah.
How that makes you sound more natural, faster.
Thinking in English, too. That's a big one. And the music of English intonation, rhythm.
Often overlooked, but so important.
Yeah. And how to be clear while speaking fast. Plus, why listening like a native is kind of the secret key to speaking better yourself. Ready to jump in?
Let's do it.
Okay, so first off, the source really highlights this power duo, speaking fast and speaking intelligently. It argues that speed often comes across as confidence.
It makes sense, doesn't it? When someone speaks fluently, without lots of long, hesitant pauses, you naturally tend to think they're more sure of themselves, more knowledgeable maybe.
Right. And then the intelligent part, using the right words, clear ideas that shows you've got a handle on the topic.
And when you put them together, speed and intelligence, that's a powerful impression. It signals, I know my stuff and I'm comfortable talking about it.
Okay, but I can hear people thinking, faster. Won't I just mess up more?
Ah, yes. The classic fear.
And the source tackles this directly. It says, look, with the right kind of practice, speed and accuracy aren't opposites. They can actually help each other.
That's the key phrase. Right kind of practice. It's not about just blurting things out.
It also busts that myth that native speakers are like consciously checking grammar rules in their heads.
Right, they're not. They operate with chunks, patterns, ready-made phrases they pull out as a whole unit.
Like building blocks.
Exactly. Thinking in chunks, not word by word. It's a fundamental shift. Like learning chords on a guitar instead of just single notes. Much faster, much richer sound.
Okay, and this leads to a really simple, practical tip from the source. A mental warm-up.
Yeah, I like this one.
Take a basic sentence, something like, I need to finish my project by tomorrow. Say it 3 times, each time just a little faster, but keeping it clear.
It sounds almost too simple, but it's about getting your brain and your mouth working together at speed, synchronizing them.
A first step towards that native pace.
And what's cool is how quickly even that small exercise starts building, motor memory. Not just physically speaking, but the brain's processing speed too. It primes you to think and speak just that tiny bit faster.
Okay, let's pivot to hesitation, because that's a killer for fluency, right?
Huge obstacle. The source explains that when you pause too much, your brain often defaults back to your native language. You get stuck translating.
And translation is just slower, much slower than thinking directly in English.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, understanding why we hesitate is the first step to fixing it.
So, the psychology behind it. First culprit, fear of mistakes. We touched on this. But the source reframes it really well. Mistakes aren't failures, they're learning moments. Signs of growth, actually.
Every time you trip over a word, your brain's making a micro-adjustment. It's part of the process. Even native speakers, like we said, they make errors. They just don't get stuck. They keep the flow.
That mindset shift is crucial, isn't it? Letting go of perfectionism.
Absolutely. Perfectionism is the enemy of fluency, often. Just accepting mistakes is normal, expected.
Yeah.
It frees you up.
Okay, second reason for hesitation. Overthinking grammar.
Yes. Trying to consciously apply rules mid-sentence.
Which native speakers just don't do. They rely on those internalized patterns, those chunks we talked about.
Right. So the fix is practicing whole chunks. The example was good. Instead of thinking, I have been working, you practice the whole unit. I've been working on it.
Say it fast, say it often. Repetition.
Until it feels automatic, like tying your shoes.
Which brings us to the third point. Lack of automatization. Making common phrases totally instinctive.
Just like typing your name or, riding a bike. You don't think about the steps. We want common English phrases to reach that level.
So the advice is start with super common stuff. What do you think? Well, let me check. Oh, I'm not really sure. Things you say all the time.
Yeah, repeat them. Maybe 10, 20 times in a row.
Yeah.
Even use them in imaginary conversations in your head. Speed comes from that deliberate repetition, often.
And there's a drill for this, too. Take a phrase like, let me think about it. Say it like 15 times, getting faster. Then say it with different tones. Curious, serious, casual.
That's the clever part. It's not just rote memory. It's training your brain's reaction in English, linking the phrase to different feelings or situations.
Making it more deeply embedded. Okay, so we know why speed and smarts matter and what causes hesitation. How do we actually train for this?
Right, the practical exercises. Because the source is clear. This is trainable. It's a skill, not just, a gift some people have.
You're not born fast and fluent. You build it.
Exactly. So first technique, shadowing.
This sounds powerful. You listen to a native speaker and repeat immediately.
Right away. Mimic them. Don't pause to translate. Don't overthink the grammar. Just copy.
Start small, like 30-second clips from videos or podcasts.
Yep, or even shorter. Listen to maybe 5 seconds, pause the audio, repeat it. Try to match everything. Speed, intonation, rhythm. It trains your brain to process and produce English much faster, almost simultaneously.
And the benefits are supposed to be pretty big. Less hesitation, better pronunciation, quicker reaction time in actual chats.
And repeating the same short clip multiple times really helps lock in those patterns. You're literally rewiring your brain for English fluency.
Okay, next. Speed drills. More direct, this one.
Yep. Take a simple sentence like, I don't really know what to say.
And just repeat it faster and faster.
Faster. And this is key, maintaining clarity. Not just mumbling faster.
Sure.
Start slow, then medium, then fast but clear.
And do this with different kinds of sentences. Questions, statements.
Exactly. Builds muscle memory in your mouth, yes, but also faster mental reflexes for different situations.
Okay, another technique. Thinking questions.
This one's interesting. The idea is that fluent speakers don't just respond quickly. They often guide the conversation with questions.
So practicing forming questions in English. What time is it? Do you really believe that? What if I tried something new? Keeps your brain active in English. Makes you more agile.
Yeah, it shifts your internal processing. You start engaging with info, formulating things more naturally in English, like in a real back and forth.
And the last training technique? Speak without planning. Improvisation.
Love this one. Set a timer, 60 seconds. Pick a random topic, my favorite food, why Mondays, whatever.
And just talk. Nonstop.
Nonstop. No planning, no pausing, ideally, even if it's not perfect English. It forces you to build fluency under pressure, like in real life, accessing vocabulary and grammar on the fly.
And there's a mini challenge for you, the listener. Record yourself 1 minute on why I don't like slow internet.
Relatable topic.
Don't stop. Don't stress mistakes. Just talk. Then listen back. Check your speed, flow, rhythm.
That self-feedback is gold. You hear where you hesitate, where you get unclear when you speed up. You can pinpoint what needs work.
Okay, so we've got speed and drills, but sounding native, it's more than just speed and grammar.
Oh, way more. It's about using the language people actually use. Which brings us to phrasal verbs, slang, and that sort of casual way of thinking and speaking.
Right, because textbooks often teach the formal stuff, but real chat is full of phrasal verbs and slang. You need them to sound natural and, frankly, to understand native speakers when they talk fast.
Absolutely crucial. Let's start with phrasal verbs. Those verb plus preposition things like give up for quit, look into for investigate.
Come across for find, take off for succeed or remove.
Yeah. And native speakers often choose these shorter, punchier verbs over the formal ones. They'd say, I'll look into it, not usually, I shall investigate the problem.
So the tip is, learn them as chunks. Don't analyze look plus into every time.
Exactly. Practice the whole phrase. The drill example is good. Say, I gave up, let's look into it. He came across something, it really took off. Say them quickly, maybe 5 times each.
Put some feeling into it like you're telling a story.
Yeah, that helps embed the meaning in usage.
Yeah.
Makes it stick.
Okay, then slang. Stuff you don't always find in books.
Right, like I'm down for I agree, no worries, for it's okay, that's let, for amazing, what's up, for hello, how are you?
It adds that layer of authenticity, doesn't it? Shows you're connected to the living language.
Totally. The tip.
Yeah.
Watch real YouTube vlogs, casual interviews, TV shows. Hear slang in context, pause, repeat it. Try using it in your practice.
And then there's casual thinking. What does that mean exactly?
It means native speech is often, well, relaxed. Sounds get dropped, gonna, wanna, dunno. Words merge what to you becomes whatcha.
Grammar gets stipped sometimes, like you coming instead of are you coming.
Exactly. It's about efficiency and informality. And it's a big part of why native speech sounds so fast and fluid.
So the mini challenge is to try saying things like, what you gonna do about it? I don't know, maybe later. You coming or not? Quickly, casually, like you're acting.
Yeah, loosen up. Embrace that faster, less rigid rhythm. Feels weird at first, maybe, but it's key.
Okay, this next part is huge. Cultivating an English thinking mindset. Thinking in English.
The holy grail for many learners, right?
Yeah.
But the source says it's vital. If you only use English in lessons, you're missing massive practice time. Fluent speakers often live inside the language, mentally.
So how do you do that? The source has practical tips. First, narrate your day in English.
Silently or out loud, I'm making coffee, checking email now, need groceries later. Simple stuff.
That constant internal chatter in English gets your brain used to producing it in real time, no pressure.
Great way to build fluency in everyday contexts.
Second tip, ask yourself questions in English.
What's for lunch? Should I go to the gym? Why'd that happen? It trains that internal Q&A rhythm of conversation.
Gets you problem solving and deciding in English too, deeper connection. Then thinking reactions. Reacting to things around you in English.
Even just internally. Someone cuts you off. Seriously, see something cool. Wow, amazing. Little immediate reflexes in English.
Bridges that gap between understanding and spontaneously expressing in English. You stop translating your feelings first.
You just react.
In English. And a really key one, consciously switch your inner voice, that voice in your head. Make it speak English.
Might feel forced at first, the source admits, but stick with it. Your default internal language can become English. That's a massive leap.
Game changer, yeah. Means you're constantly processing the world through English.
And lastly, build a personal phrase bank. Here's something natural, useful. You got to be kidding me. That makes sense. Not the end of the world.
Write it down. Practice using it mentally.
Yeah.
Feed your brain those ready-made native phrases.
Exactly. Curate those high-frequency expressions that boost your fluency.
Quick challenge for you listening right now. Describe what you're doing right now in English, out loud, for 30 seconds. Go.
Just doing that consistently makes you less self-conscious, which is a good sign of progress.
Okay, we've talked words, thinking, but how you say it matters just as much. The music of English.
Totally. Intonation, stress, rhythm. Native speakers use these to add layers of meaning, emotion, emphasis. Beyond just a dictionary definition, mastering this melody makes you sound way more natural and smart.
Like a conductor leading an orchestra, emphasizing certain instruments, stress does that for meaning in a sentence.
Nice analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So intonation first, the rise and fall of your voice. like pitch in music, rising tone for questions often, falling for statements, mixed tones for uncertainty, surprise.
And flat monotone speech just sounds robotic, less engaging.
Definitely. Native speakers are dynamic. The tip: watch native speakers on YouTube, whatever. Mimic their pitch changes. Exaggerate them at first, even just to feel it.
Okay. Then word stress. Emphasizing one syllable in a word or certain words in a sentence.
Right. And that example sentence is brilliant. I didn't say you stole the money. Stress, yeah, it means one thing. I didn't say you stole the money. Totally different meaning.
Stress stole. Different again. Wow.
Shows how powerful stress is. The advice: pick a sentence daily. Practice stressing different words. Feel how the meaning shifts.
And finally, rhythm. English is stress timed.
Yeah, meaning stress words get emphasis, clarity, maybe spoken a bit slower. Unstressed grammar words get reduced, squished faster.
I'm going to go to the show.
Becomes like, I'm going to go to the store.
I want to go home becomes I want to go home. Yeah. Home gets the focus.
Exactly. Nailing that rhythm is crucial for sounding natural. The tip: clap or tap on the stressed words as you speak. Helps internalize the beat.
Quick challenge here. Say, I really don't think it's a good idea. Focus on stressing really don't think good idea. Vary your speed, but keep the stress clear. Take ownership of the words.
Yeah, convey your attitude, your emphasis through that musicality, not just reading the words.
Okay, so we want to speak faster, but people need to understand us, right? Speed is useless if you're unclear.
Exactly. That's the balancing act. Fast, but clear. Native speakers do it. How?
One technique: group words into thought units. Natural phrases that belong together. Say the chunks smoothly. Then a tiny pause between chunks. Not awkward pauses between every word, like, I don't know if I can make it, or I'll call you when I get home.
It mirrors how we naturally process and deliver info. Makes it sound coherent, easier to follow.
And the key is, don't rush everything. Speed up the little grammar words, articles, prepositions, helpers.
Right, the glue words.
But slow down slightly. Emphasize the important stuff: nouns, action verbs, emotional words. The example: I really want to talk to you about that idea. Want is quick, but really, talk, idea, get more weight.
Creates that dynamic rhythm. Guides the listener to the key info. Highlights what matters.
Also using pauses strategically, not just when you're stuck.
Right. Pauses are powerful. Before a big idea, after a question, give thinking time. For dramatic effect, even.
The tip: mark pauses in a text. Read it aloud. Feel how they add impact and clarity.
Shows confidence and control. Gives everyone a beat to process.
And the really practical tip: practice fast, record yourself, listen back.
The crucial feedback loop.
Can you understand yourself clearly? Rushing too much, blurring words, are keywords emphasized? Find that sweet spot between speed and clarity.
Essential for improvement. Identify your own blind spots, adjust your style, maximize impact and clarity.
Mini challenge time again. The sentence: I'm not sure if I'm ready for that kind of responsibility. First, break it into thought groups. Say it slow and clear. Then faster but clear. Record it. Review it.
Applies all these techniques to a real-world kind of sentence. Very practical.
Okay, getting that really smooth, natural flow. The source talks about connectors, fillers, transitions, the glue that holds it all together.
Yeah, these make speech sound effortless, conversational. They link ideas, give you thinking time without sounding abrupt.
So connectors link ideas logically. Examples like actually for correcting, besides for adding more, anyway, to shift topic. On the other hand, for contrast. So basically, to sum up.
The tip: speak for a minute on a topic. Deliberately use maybe 3 different connectors. Helps integrate them into your natural speech. Smoother transitions.
Then fillers. Those little pauses. I mean, like sort.
The source says don't overuse them, obviously. Can be distracting. But use well, sparingly. They add naturalness, give you a split second to think without total silence.
Makes it sound less robotic, more like real spontaneous chat. The advice is to mimic real conversations to get a feel for how native speakers use them.
Exactly. Get that organic rhythm.
And smooth transitions, linguistic signposts. Show structure, intelligence, first of all. Second, finally, for lists. By the way,
For a related tangent,
in my opinion, for perspective, what I mean is for clarification.
using these well makes you sound organized, logical, helps the listener follow your train of thought easily.
And the source encourages thinking beyond single sentences. Speak in paragraphs, mini stories, coherent thoughts. Opener, idea, connector, smooth close, like native speakers often do in longer turns.
Weaving sentences together cohesively, more engaging, more fluent overall.
Quick challenge, talk for 60 seconds on why mornings are hard for me. Try to use 2 connectors, 2 fillers, 1 transition phrase. Record and review. See how you did with the flow.
Great way to integrate all these flow elements. Reviewing helps you spot awkward transitions or filler overuse.
Okay, we've hit speaking mechanics hard, but the source circles back to something critical. Your speaking reflects your listening. Listening like a native.
So important. Your input shapes your output. If you only listen to slow, perfect English, that's probably how you'll try to speak. Listen to real fast, natural English, and your brain starts copying those patterns subconsciously.
So, first tip, choose real, unscripted English. TV dialogues, podcasts, vlogs, stand-up comedy. Not just textbook audio, helps your brain develop that fast speech filter.
Exposes you to real rhythms, intonation, casual language you miss in formal stuff. Trains you for English as it's actually spoken.
And shadowing comes back again. Powerful listening training. Repeating immediately forces active processing at speed.
Engages you deeply. You're mimicking the whole delivery, not just words.
Then, chunk listening. Recognizing how words blend. What are you doing becomes, what you doing? Did you eat yet? Eat yet?
You want to come with?
I don't know what happened.
Training your ear for those reduced connected forms. Hearing the music, not just the notes.
And crucially, understand directly in English. Stop translating in your head.
Big milestone. Use English subtitles, then test yourself without them. Direct comprehension speeds up your processing dramatically, allows faster, more natural reactions.
And make listening active, not passive background noise. The 10-minute daily routine.
Watch for meaning first. Watch again. Repeat sentences. Try shadowing the whole clip. Write down cool new expressions.
Focused engagement beats hours of passive listening. You really dissect and internalize native speech nuances. Quick challenge. Shadow a 30-second clip from a favorite native speaker's YouTube video. Do it 3 times. Put active listening and shadowing into practice right now.
That repetition really locks in what you're hearing and saying, reinforces those natural patterns.
Okay, to pull this all together, the source lays out a practical 30-day roadmap, a daily plan to solidify everything we've talked about.
Yeah, it's not more info, it's a structure for consistent practice. Integrating all the pieces for faster, smarter speaking, 30-45 minutes a day.
Week 1, tune your brain. Focus on thinking in English, recognizing fast speech, watching, shadowing, practicing chunks and connectors in sentences, freestyle speaking, mindset, I don't translate, I understand.
Week 2, speed up and sound natural. Increase speed with clarity. Imitate fast sentences, record and correct yourself. Use connectors, fillers, and freestyle. Maybe practice with AI or a partner. Fluency focus. Control speed. Rush the grammar words. Emphasize meaning words.
Week 3, smart vocabulary and real expression. Use native-like phrases, smarter wording, watch and note down phrases, practice them, use them in speech, upgrade basic vocab, maybe try idioms, metaphors.
Week 4, real-life simulation and speed boost. Simulate real chats. Imitate dialogues. Answer questions fast. Describe scenes quickly using connectors. Speak non-stop for longer periods. Challenge mode. Aim for no pauses, no translation, no fear.
And throughout the 30 days, a vital reminder. Weekly check-in. Record yourself for a few minutes. Compare to previous weeks. Track your progress. Celebrate the wins.
That self-assessment keeps you motivated, shows you where you're improving and where you still need to focus. Super important.
So, wrapping this all up, the big takeaway isn't just about talking fast.
No, it's way more holistic.
It's about thinking smart in English, feeling genuinely confident, speaking with that natural rhythm, expression, and clarity.
Exactly. The whole package.
Yeah.
Mindset, techniques, and consistent practice. That's what leads to truly fluent, confident communication.
And remember, By applying these techniques consistently, you, the learner, you really do have the tools now to speak English more fluently, more confidently, with that native-like quality.
It's about unlocking opportunities, connection, growth. It's more than just language skills.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. Now that you've got these strategies, what specific real-life situation are you most excited to try them out in? And maybe more importantly, how will you know you've made real progress in that situation? Something to think about as you keep going on your journey.